What's up guys, welcome back to the 1983 Yamaha XJ650 Turbo Restoration. In this video we have to fix the mechanical problems that this bike has, which is quite a bit. And we're just going to get to the bottom of it. We need to find out why the carburetors are flooding out the bike. We need to find out what's going on there with the fuel pressure regulator. And once we get all that stuff done, we can finally reassemble this bike. And that'll probably be its own video, and then it'll be done, hopefully. I've ordered a ton of stuff to finish up the XJ650. First off, we've got 1 watt, 5.6 kiloohm resistors to hopefully fix the battery sensor issue altogether. Finally, we've got some Yamaha emblems here. My bike was always missing these emblems. These are the ones that go like up by the headlight on the side of the fairing. Originally these are supposed to be silver, but since I'm gold guy, I got some gold ones. These are actually the only ones I could find. These are from a different model of bike, but the gold is going to be a cool touch. It's kind of me putting my signature on the bike. First things first, I'm going to remove the fuel tank from this bike so that I can check out the fuel pressure regulator and address the flooding issue. The last thing to fix on this bike is the flooding problem. So if the bike doesn't start within like 20 seconds of turning the motor over, it basically floods the carburetor bowls and floods the engine. And I think the reason is this little fuel diverter valve here, which is meant to unload the excess pressure from the fuel pump back into the gas tank instead of flooding the carburetors. I've never rebuilt it, which I definitely should have. I just assumed it was good to go and put it back in. So I think we're gonna have to remove the fuel pump here, and I see we've got a snapped bolt. I don't know how that happened. I guess it just snapped off when I was riding the bike someday. But we're gonna have to remove the fuel pump, and then we can have easier access to this little diverter valve, check valve thingy right there. There's the main fuel line. Now we should be able to remove the fuel pump. Yep, there it is. Looks like we have just one little 8mm bolt holding that little valve in place. Oh, got it. Now we just gotta disassemble this little guy and see what it's made of. I never disassembled this thing when I was cleaning the carburetors. I just simply did not know how important this little valve was. I don't really know how it works. Oh, there it is. Alright, so we got 3 screws, seal on this side, a little spring. I'm guessing the spring controls this valve opens or closes, which this feels completely stuck in there. This is like a little piston, and it feels like it's not even moving at all. I'm guessing that's the problem. Try to remove it gently with the little pick. I don't think that should have been jammed in like it was. Okay, so we've got this little plunger with a hole and an O-ring. Looks pretty clean inside. Now there's just one thing left to test. That is this fuel pressure regulator. That's the thing that controls the amount of fuel entering the carburetors. If this thing's bad, then that would explain the flooding. Let's get this guy off. Seems pretty simple. Couple screws, couple hose clamps. Yeah. Okay, there's the fuel pressure regulator. We've got the vacuum / boost line, the return line, and the fuel inlet line. So, let's see if we can test this guy. So I have this little syringe here, and this is what I'm going to use to simulate vacuum or boost Pop that guy in, tighten it up. Alright, let's test it. Well, hear air leaking out of somewhere. That little syringe thing was not working, so instead I got my air compressor with about 20 psi. And this will only ever see like 15 psi, I think, is the max this turbo bike puts out. So for testing purposes, we'll hit this regulator with about 20 psi, and then I've got a water line hooked up to this supply line of the regulator, and this is the line that should feed gas back to the tank. And basically how this works, as the boost increases, it forces a little diaphragm down and kind of closes off the return line so that more gas is flowing with higher velocity or something. I don't exactly know, but here, let's test it. I'm going to turn on the water in the sink. You can see the flow rate. We hit the 20 psi. That's what it does. So that seems like proper operation to me. I don't know what, if any, is the problem here, because I've checked the fuel pressure regulator. It seems fine. I blew some air through here to get the excess water out, so don't worry about that. And this is working as it should as well. If we replace this little plunger, we can hold it down and blow through this end. But if we plug this end, then the gas starts to come through here. So I don't know, this seems like it's working fine to me. The O-ring's good. It slides in and out. It was a little sticky at first, but seems like a non-issue. So let's reassemble all this crap. Now at least I will know for sure that this is not the problem, or the regulator's not the problem. So now I'm kind of thinking it's more like the carburetor float needle valves might be leaking, but I don't know. This hose goes back on, and this confusing array of hose clamps is just to keep the hose from pinching in on itself, because the way it bends in place, it was kind of pinching closed, and we don't want that. So that's just to hold the hose nice and straight, keep it from collapsing. I think this goes like this. I don't know, the fuel line routing on this bike is so confusing, but I think the problem actually might lie somewhere in this hose and how I had that hooked up. It's the only thing I can think of. Alright, fuel pump and regulators all reinstalled. I replaced this potentially leaking hose that was going to the regulator with a new one, and hose clamped everything together. It was just janky little pinch clamps on there before. This bike has all air suspension, front and back, original from Yamaha. But hear that? Yeah, there's no air in it at all. So all the air leaked out of the suspension, so I'm going to try and pump it back up and see what the heck happens. My e-bike that I built has a similar air suspension setup. I've used this very pump to pump it back up, so let's see if it works on this bike. Seems like it's working. We're at 30 psi right now. I don't know how much we need. So according to the manual, it looks like the maximum air pressure we are supposed to have in there is 17 psi. And I've got it up to 30, so let's let some of that air out. Okay, perfect. Now we are just below 20 psi. Let's see if it actually... Okay, yep. Air seems to be staying in, but for how long, we do not know. Let's pump it back up to 17 psi. I think I might hear air leaking out a little bit, but I'm not sure, so we'll just have to check and see if there's actually air still in that tomorrow. See if it feels any stiffer. Oh, heck yeah, it does. Wow. That feels a lot better than it did before. It actually has rebounding now. And the rear suspension has the same air system. There's a little valve right here. That one is bone empty as well. There's no air coming out of that at all. And it has adjustable suspension. You can adjust the dampening with this knob on top. It goes 1 to 4. Let's put it in 3. Okay, and now let's get 17 PSI. Well, first, before I do that, let me bounce up and down and show you guys what it looks like. No air. Pretty soft. Now let's pump it up. Okay, it's about 20 PSI. And now that we're at 17. Let's get that little cap back on. Bounce up and down again. Oh yeah. That really stiffens it right up and makes it rebound way faster. So as long as the air actually stays in there, should be good to go. Wouldn't you know it? I found another problem while I was bouncing up and down. This connector was not connected. It was just disconnected. And it's blue with yellow tracer and black with yellow tracer. So let's reconnect it. I think I just found out it goes to the clutch. So that would be the clutch switch. That was disconnected. Let's reconnect this little guy. Alright, I've got a little piece of electrical tape on there, and that should keep that little sucker connected now. Okay, that's the last problem we're going to fix in this video. I could keep finding more, I'm sure, but I think that's better than before. Another problem is that this bike has always been missing this little plate that's supposed to snap in there. It says 650 on it. If anyone can 3D print me something or find me an original one, please comment down below or email me. I'd be greatly appreciative of that and can shout you out or give you some kind of compensation. In the next video, we're gonna reinstall the exhaust and then reassemble the whole bike. So stay tuned for that, guys. It's gonna be a ton of fun. I'm starting to get excited about this bike again, and I really wanna ride it and hopefully not have any of the problems it did before. But we can only hope. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you wanna stay in the loop with more videos like this. Comment down below what you think. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Peace out.